Hello everyone, this is Vrishali and welcome to the Power Electronics and Application. So in this session, we are going to deal with the brand new, it is not actually brand new, but for us it is a new semiconductor device, that is a power MOSFET. In last two sessions we have seen SCR and Triac. So today we are going to see what is power MOSFET. You have already studied BJT, if you remember, bipolar junction transistor. So let us see whether it is similar to that BJT or it is totally different. So in this session we are going to see what is power MOSFET. Then it operates in two basic types, that is a depletion enhancement D MOSFET or enhancement only E MOSFET. Then static or VI characteristic of these MOSFETs, switching characteristics of these MOSFETs, safe area for operation, and we will summarize the lecture. So let's start with the power MOSFET. So here you can see the structure of power MOSFET. It also has three terminals. So let's start. So this power MOSFET stands for metal oxide field effect transistor. It is a semiconductor device which handles a very high level of power. It has a high switching speed as well as high switching frequency above 100 kHz. It is a voltage control device and requires low input current, so high input impedance. It is an active device which consists of a parallel combination of thousands of MOSFET cells on a single silicon chip. There are basic two types of MOSFET, as I said, D MOSFET and E MOSFET. So let's start with the D MOSFET. This is a schematic symbol for both N channel and P channel depletion enhancement MOSFET, that is a D MOSFET. There are three terminals, gate, drain and source, where gate is a control terminal. As it is a control device, so this is a control terminal which will control the operation of this MOSFET. This inward and outward direction or these arrows indicates the direction of current flow. So inward substrate arrow is for N channel MOSFET and outward arrow is for P channel MOSFET. This is a basic structure of MOSFET shown here. Here you can see the drain and source terminal are diffused into a substrate material and then connected by a narrow channel adjacent to the gate. To describe the basic operation of this MOSFET or D MOSFET precisely, we are going to consider the N channel device. In case of P channel operation, it will be same except the voltage polarities are opposite to that of the N channel. So let us consider the N channel MOSFET to understand the operation of this D MOSFET. So again, this D MOSFET can be operated in either of the two modes. The first is the depletion mode, where the gate source, this VGS, here it is written VGG, so this VGS voltage is negative, then it will act in a depletion mode or it will work in a depletion mode. If this VGS is positive, it will operate in enhancement. So let's see what is the depletion mode. The drain and source terminal are directly connected to the N-type layer. This drain is connected to the N-type layer and gate is connected at the middle through the SiO2 layer. There is a silicon dioxide layer in between gate and this device. So consider, if you can visualize a capacitor having two parallel plates. So consider one plate is this gate terminal and another plate is nothing but our channel, and this SiO2 layer will act as a dielectric or the insulating layer in between these two plates of capacitor. So with the negative gate voltage as VGG, the negative terminal is connected to gate, the negative charges on the gate repel the conduction electrons from the channel and leaving positive ions in their place. The n channel is depleted of some of the electrons, thus decreasing the channel conductivity. The greater the negative voltage on the gate side, the greater the depletion on the n channel electrons. So at the sufficiently negative gate source voltage, that means at VGS off, the channel is totally depleted and the drain current is 0. So n channel D MOSFET conducts drain current for gate to source voltage between VGS off to 0, and D MOSFET conducts the values VGS above 0. So this is about the working of D MOSFET in depletion mode. What are the key points? You have to remember that the n channel D MOSFET conducts drain current for gate to source voltage between VGS off and 0, and D MOSFET conducts the values of VGS above 0. That time only the current will flow. Now we will see the second mode of operation, that is enhancement mode. In this mode, VGS is made positive. So with the positive gate voltage, positive charge carriers will be generated on the SiO2 layer, and on the other side, in p-type layer, the negative charge will get generated. So here the drain terminal is connected to positive terminal of this VDD source, and negative terminal is connected to source terminal. So due to this, the current ID, drain current, will flow from drain to source through this induced channel. More the conduction of electrons will get attracted into the channel, thus increasing the conductivity of this device. So increase in this VGS will increase the amount of current flowing through device. We have seen in case of SCR, if you remember, or TRIAC, if we go on increasing the current, gate current IG, the more the current will flow through the semiconductor device. But in case of MOSFET, it depends on this VGG or VGS voltage, the voltage between gate and source. So as this is controlled by gate voltage VGS, this power MOSFET device is called as voltage controlled semiconductor device. So this is all about the operation of D MOSFET. Now let's move towards the second type, that is E MOSFET or enhancement MOSFET. So this type of MOSFET operates only in enhancement mode and has no depletion mode. It differs in the construction from D MOSFET. In that case, it has no physical channel. That means substrate extends completely to the SiO2 layer. So this is shown with the broken lines. This symbol is nothing but the absence of physical channel. So this is a N-type channel and this is a P-type enhancement MOSFET. So talking about the construction of this E-MOSFET, generally the low power MOSFETs have a planar structure. It is fabricated using P-type silicon into which two N regions are diffused. Here you can see P-type substrate and two N regions are diffused into it. And insulating silicon dioxide layer, that is this SiO2 layer, is also present. It is at the side of gate terminal. So in the absence of this gate bias, current cannot flow between the drain and source because of two back-to-back PN junctions. Now we will see how this E-MOSFET works. So for this N-channel device, when the insulated gate is made positive, that means this VGG or again VGS, gate to source voltage, this source is connected in such a way that the positive terminal is connected to gate and negative terminal is connected to the source. So as the positive terminal is connected to gate, the positive layer or the positive charge carriers will be generated on SiO2 layer, and on the other side, that is in the p-type layer, a thin negative charge layer will get generated. So as this VGS, this voltage increases, the negative charge will increase in the channel, which is called as induced channel in p-type layer. So this induced channel is called as inversion layer. Due to this inversion layer only, the current can flow through the device. So if this channel is absent, there will be a depletion region in between, which will block the flow of current to pass through the device. The drain terminal is connected to positive terminal of this VDD, and source is connected to the negative terminal. So current will flow from drain to source in this direction, downward. The conductivity of this channel is enhanced by increasing this voltage, gate voltage or gate to source voltage, and thus pulling more electrons from the channel. So increase in VGS will increase the current or the amount of current ID. This device is controlled by gate to source voltage, that is VGS or VGG. Thus this semiconductor device is known as voltage controlled semiconductor device. So more or less both operations of E MOSFET or D MOSFET are similar, but the difference is this physical substrate or physical layer. Let's move towards the characteristics of power MOSFET. So there are two types of characteristics: transfer characteristics and output characteristics. So transfer characteristics are drawn by considering a plot of drain current ID versus the gate to source voltage, that is a VGS. So here ID current is the output current of power MOSFET and VGS is a input voltage. So output current versus input voltage is nothing but the transfer characteristics of power MOSFET. So these linear transfer characteristics are used for the transient analysis. Initially, when VGS is not applied, when VGS is 0, the drain current does not flow through the device, as we have seen in the operation of power MOSFET. So when VGS is 0, ID, the value of ID is also 0. When VGS is slowly increased by some amount, so as VGS starts increasing till this threshold, the ID will remain 0. After reaching this threshold, the junction will get breakdown and the large amount of current will flow through the device. So suddenly the value of ID will increase in this way. So this is how the transfer characteristics of power MOSFET are drawn. Remember, it is a output current versus input voltage, ID versus VGS. Now we will see the another static characteristic of power MOSFET, that is output characteristic. Why it is called as output characteristic? Because this is a plot drawn by considering input voltage VGS constant and plot of ID versus VDS, that is output current versus output voltage. So this plot is known as output characteristic of power MOSFET. So as I said, keeping the VGS constant, keeping the gate to source voltage constant, initially at low values of VDS, the drain current will increase. Initially it will increase and then it will become constant. Here you can see for VGS1, initially it is increased and then it became constant, and after breakdown the high amount of current will flow through the circuit. So after this breakdown point, this current increases suddenly. So for the value of VGS1, this will be the characteristic of ID versus VDS. So if we increase this value of VGS as VGS2, where VGS2 is greater than VGS1, again for the smaller amount of VDS the current ID increases. For certain values it will become constant, and after threshold, again at the breakdown stage, it will increase suddenly. So in this case where nothing is getting conducted, for similar values of this ID drain current, this region is called as cutoff region. Then where this ID drain current is constant, this region is called as active region. When the breakdown occurs, so after breakdown, the high amount of current will flow at BVDSS, that is, the S subscript is for saturation and BV means breakdown voltage. So at this point avalanche breakdown will occur, and this region is called as saturated or saturation region. So as we go on increasing the gate to source voltage, when the large VGS is applied, the device is driven into the ohmic region where drain current ID also increases. Here you can see it is a very small value of ID, but in this case the value of ID has been increased as we go on increasing the VGS. So from this output characteristics of power MOSFET, we can observe certain or few things, that the MOSFET is a voltage control device because it totally depends on the voltage, how we increase, or at low level what are the characteristic, and at high level of voltage what are the characteristic. So this is a purely voltage control device, so output current depends on or controlled by the input gate voltage. Then the another thing is drain current will increase as VGS increases. Then this VGS should be large enough to drive the MOSFET in ohmic region. When the forward voltage applied to the MOSFET which exceeds the breakdown voltage, that is the BVDSS, the avalanche breakdown will occur, and the operation above this breakdown voltage must be avoided. And the last part is this power MOSFET characteristic, the second breakdown does not exist for this VI characteristic of power MOSFET in this case. So this is all about the static or VI characteristic of power MOSFET. Remember, there are two types of characteristic, transfer as well as output, where transfer characteristics are plotted by considering output current versus input voltage, and output characteristics are drawn by considering output current versus output voltage. So we will move towards the next topic, that is switching characteristic of power MOSFET. These are important as the power MOSFET are often used in switching application because of their inherent high speed turn on and off capabilities. So let us understand what are these switching characteristics. These characteristics are influenced by internal capacitance of device as well as the internal impedance of the gate drive circuit. So if you see, there are two terms, turn on time and turn off time. So as this Vg is applied for duration t1, this is the plot for ID drain current, this is a plot for gate to source voltage. So here you can see the total turn on time is a combination or composition of TDN plus TR, that is, it is a sum of turn on delay time and rise time. Now we will see in this diagram, there is an initial delay TDN during which the input capacitance charges to gate threshold voltage VGST. So this duration, this 0 to VGST, This time duration is known as turn on delay time, that is TDN. And the rise time, that is nothing but there is a further delay of T, so during which gate to source voltage rises up to VGSP, from VGST to VGSP. So this time duration is called as rise time, where actual rising takes place. So this is TR. So total TDN, that is turn on delay time, plus total TR, that is rise time. So combination or composition of these two delay times and rise times, it is known as turn on time. So ID requires turn on time, which is a combination of turn on delay time and rise time of this VGS, gate to source voltage. So what we have understood, in this turn on time, a voltage rises from 0 to VGSP or VGST to VGSP, which is sufficient to drive this MOSFET to its on state. So during this TR, the drain current rises from 0 to its maximum value, that is full value current ID. Then the second terminology is turn off time. So what is turn off time? Again, it is a combination of turn off delay time and fall time. So to see what is this turn off process, we have to remove, or by initiating this gate to source voltage, we have seen the turn on time is obtained. So to get turn off time, we have to remove this gate to source voltage at time interval t1. Here you can see it is made 0 at time interval t1. So turn off time is nothing but the combination or the composition of turn off delay time. So what is turn off delay time? The time during which the input capacitance has to be discharged from V1 to VGSP. Again, as we can see here, from V1 value it falls till VGSP. So this sudden decrease in the voltage, the time duration for this sudden decrease is known as turn off delay time, which is denoted as TDF. And what is fall time? The time during which the input capacitance discharges from VGSP to its threshold value VGST. This is called as fall time, which is denoted as TF. So during this TF, this ID current, that is a drain current, falls from its maximum value ID to directly 0. So this is known as fall time. So when VGS is less than or equal to VGST, the MOSFET is turned off completely. So this is about the switching characteristics of power MOSFET. You have to focus on the initial time duration, turn on time, and the last, that is turn off time of this graph. Now what are the safe operating area for this power MOSFET? The SOA, that is a safe operating area, defines the limit of operation of device on ID versus VDS characteristics as shown here. The following parameters can determine the safe area of operation of this power MOSFET, which are ID max, that is a maximum drain current, P max, that is a maximum power dissipation, and VBDSS, that is a forward blocking voltage. So let us see. The maximum drain current ID max at low drain voltages is limited by The power dissipation rating. The maximum forward blocking voltages VBDSS at low drain currents is determined by avalanche breakdown. The maximum power dissipation limit is based on the maximum permissible temperature, which is a Tj, on the semiconductor junction in the device. This Tj depends on the amount of heat flowing across the junction. A continuous power dissipation will cause a large rise of a junction temperature than the actual power for a short duration. Hence, this maximum power limit under the simultaneous application of high drain voltage and high drain current is shifted slightly upwards for the shorter duration of application. The SOA in MOSFET are the large square regions. These large square regions of the SOA, that is nothing but the minimal snubber circuit. What is snubber circuit? For that, stay tuned for the power electronics lecture in coming sessions. We are going to see what is the snubber circuit. So in today's lecture, what we have seen, what is the power MOSFET, what are the two different types D and E MOSFETs, their construction, operation, then the static characteristics or VI characteristics of power MOSFET. There are two types if you remember. First is the transfer characteristics, input voltage versus output current, and another is output characteristics, output voltage versus output current. And then we have seen the switching characteristics, turn on and turn off time, and safe operating area. So this is all about the power MOSFET, which are used in motor drives, UPS systems, or induction heating, etc. So thank you for this, and in next lecture we are going to see the next semiconductor device, and till then, stay home, stay safe, and happy e-learning.